What is going on, everybody? Your man Big B. Welcome back to Steelers Almighty Little Town Hall Edition, man. Just wanted to get on here. I know we got the live tonight, but Steelers news is Steelers news, and there's no better time to talk to you guys than any time, in my opinion. So, just wanted to jump on and touch base with you, tell you what's going on. Look, it looks like T.J. Watt. I know this came out a couple of days ago, but it looks like T.J. Watt has been offered a contract, but it's not necessarily up to his liking. So obviously it's not, because it hasn't been signed. There's some work to be done. What is it exactly? Like, what have the Steelers offered? You know what I mean? Like, what's the speculation here? What's the scenario? Is it the number of years? Is it the dollar amount? I don't know. What's going on, Digital Dust? What's going on, Angel? So, yeah, I don't know what the deal is. What my guess is that it's probably the number of years. So, what's going on, Oscar Rodriguez? What's happening, my man? That's that's what I'm thinking, is that TJ's not getting offered the number of years that he wants. I guess it could be. I guess it could possibly be the dollar amount, but I feel like the Steelers would give him more annually than, what Myles Garrett is getting. But maybe it's the number of years. Maybe the Steelers are like, look, 3 years, that's it. That's all we're doing. 3 years, and make the third year an avoidable year. It is what it is. And maybe he wants 4. I don't know. What's going on, Felicia? How you doing? Excuse me. How are you doing? So maybe that's what it is with TJ Watt. I don't know. But I know that they've offered him a deal. But who knows? Maybe this is the Steelers drawing a line in the sand and saying that the Steelers are like, nope, we're done. This is what we're going to give you. If you don't want to take it, we're going to trade you. That could be it, people. I know that a lot of Steeler fans don't want to think that. I don't think that the Steeler fans want that. There are a lot of fans out there that are like, okay, man, move on from TJ Watt. It's kind of a mixed bag. It's about 50-50. Anytime we bring up this topic, it is about a 50-50 deal with people. Either they want them or they don't want them. So it's crazy out there in these Steelers streets, man. It's like half the people want him to stay, half of them don't. I think the Steelers might be drawing a line in the sand and saying, okay, this is what we can give you over a 3-year time period. TJ Watt might want 4 years. If you're the Steelers and you want them, give them the 4-year deal. It's 3 years, make the 4th year voidable, and it is what it is. What's going on, Mr. Leonard Dodd? How you doing, man? So that would be my thing. But again, something that would be dumb, if the Steelers really do have a line in the sand, why wouldn't you trade them before the draft? Or maybe these talks didn't pick up until after the draft. Okay. So that would be my whole thing. Digital, I get what you're saying. Said if anybody has earned, and Sophie, that's enough, has earned and proven his worth, it's TJ. He's our captain and our leader. I get all of that. I totally get that. Hey, that's enough. I totally get that. And if that's the case, if he's our leader, I 100% understand that. I 100% understand all of that. Having said that, though, that doesn't mean that you get a contract for a lifetime. That doesn't mean that you have to stay forever. So that's my thing. It doesn't mean you got to stay forever. That would be my point. And I mean, we saw that with Big Ben, and so many of us out here are like, hey, Big Ben stayed too long. Now, I'm not saying TJ is done playing football, I'm not saying that at all, but maybe that's where the Steelers go. So that would be my thing. I mean, and Leonard Dodd, you couldn't have said it any better. You're going to draw a line in the sand with T.J. Watt, but you're not going to do that with Aaron Rodgers. Hey, don't know. It would be insane. So, and there's a good point there. Heck says it's not that we don't want TJ Watt. It's at this point, his trade value is at the highest, and the Steelers need a quarterback. But the problem is, the Steelers need a quarterback. They're going to need a quarterback no matter what. And they're going to need the quarterbacks that they have or potentially going to have on the roster. Let's just be honest with ourselves. Those aren't the guys that they want to be the future of this franchise. I know there's so many people out there that are just gravitating to Will Howard and thinking that Will Howard's going to be the second coming of Tom Brady. If that happens, great. The likelihood of that happening are slim to none. And I think we have to come to grips to that as a Steeler fan base. The likelihood of him becoming the starter are slim to none. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm not even saying it won't happen. But we have to be realistic. So the chances of that, we got to move on. So more than likely, our franchise quarterback is not even on the roster. It's somebody that they're going to look at next year. Well, the Steelers they've got plenty of draft picks. They've got stuff. I don't know. I don't know. What's going on, Kenneth Jones? Well, here's the thing, Leonard, and I appreciate you. If they get a franchise QB next, then you have a championship roster. The only problem with that is you don't know who's going to be on the roster next year. A lot of things are going to change with the Steelers next year. Like, is Cam Hayward going to play football again? Is Mika Fitzpatrick still going to be on the team? Is Alex Highsmith going to be there? Did Broderick Jones work out? So before we say that, there's a lot of stuff that has to happen before we say we have a championship roster. It's not just as easy as saying next year, oh, we got a quarterback, that's it. Not to mention, it's a rookie quarterback. If that's who we're saying, we're going to go get a rookie and all of a sudden that rookie is just going to be magnificent? No, I don't think so. We've seen it happen. So, Sophie, that's enough. That is enough. Hey, that's enough. That's enough. So, So let's see. Who would be trading for? I don't think the Steelers are going to be trading for anybody. They would be trading for draft picks. They wouldn't trade TJ. But I don't know. It seems like the Steelers might be putting their foot down. So, yeah, Sophie's on one today. She went out we came in 3 minutes before we got online. She went out, did her business, both businesses, 3 minutes before we came on. I always do that for a purpose. And she is just barking, yapping. It is what it is, man. So, hey, Brenda, what's going on? So, and I think they're just starting to negotiate too, Brenda. I think that's what it is. I think they're just starting to negotiate. But we know how the Steelers usually are. The Steelers, they get these type of deals done, right at training camp, maybe a week into training camp, they get these things done. So Black and Gold Standard Podcast says, Big B, why do people think Tomlin doesn't have his hands in the QB mess the Steelers are in and realize it's just not on Mr. Rooney? I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I haven't heard anybody say that Tomlin's not responsible for the QB mess. Like, I haven't heard anybody say that. I've heard I haven't heard anybody say that. I've heard other people around, but hell, most of the people want to blame everything on Mike Tomlin. So they want to blame all of it on Mike Tomlin. But I haven't heard anybody say that it wasn't Mike Tomlin's problem. Sophie, that's enough. You got to stop. You got to stop. We're not going out there. We're not going out there. So, I was going to say, I haven't heard anybody not blaming Tomlin for this. So I think, if anything, everybody's blaming Tomlin for it, and rightfully so. I'm not saying it's all his fault, but he's got his hand in this. He's got his hand in this. I mean, he's got his hand up to his elbow in this. So, yeah, that's at some point we got to win a playoff game. We're going to talk about Kirk Cousins on the podcast tonight. Make sure you guys show up for that. This Kirk Cousins thing, I won't get into too much of it right now, but this Kirk Cousins thing seems like it's real, which, I don't know, man. I don't know, but we'll talk about it. We'll talk about that later tonight. But yeah, this Kirk Cousins thing might be real. It might be real. And there's a lot of talk. It ain't just BS, man. It's a lot of talk. So doesn't mean it's gonna happen, but it's there. It's there. So, but we'll break it down. Like I said, we'll break it down tonight and we'll talk about it on what makes sense. But as far as TJ is concerned, the negotiations have begun. You know, we're going to see what's happening. This troublemaker over here is causing problems, people. Is just causing problems. She is causing problems. Now, look, the people don't want to talk to you. Okay? They want to talk Steeler football. They don't want to talk to you. All right? No, they don't. They don't want to talk to you. I apologize, y'all. It is what it is. What am I going to do? So, yeah, they don't want to talk to you. They're trying to talk some Steeler football, man. Here, get down. Get down. It's fine. So, she might need some Thunderbird. Get down. Get down. Get down. Get down. And you're not going to bite my hand either. Sophie might be the QB of the future, man. We need somebody. We need somebody. This is going insane. So, and TJ's best years are behind him. I mean, you know, it's hard to argue that. And the thing is, I always argue this point. At certain positions, the 30-year-old mark doesn't mean that you're done playing football. You know, everybody thinks that once you turn 30, that you're finished. It doesn't mean that at all. But it doesn't mean that your best days are ahead of you. Everybody isn't Cam Hayward. You know, who the hell is playing their best foot? I mean, you could argue that last year may have been Cam Hayward's best year of football at 35. Now, I'm sure, Sophie, come on. Now, I'm sure you could probably argue and find, oh, well, yeah, this year was better. But he was a first-team All-Pro. I mean, it is what it is. So, it's tough, man. It's tough. So, it's tough. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I'm not a guy that just automatically says, oh, he's 30, we got to get rid of him. No. But it doesn't also mean that the best days ahead. I mean, it's tricky. It's tricky. So, it's tricky. And that's the thing about TJ was fine until he got hurt. Well, I mean, he was fine until he got hurt. And then also some things, and we're going to talk about TJ tonight, obviously on the podcast, on the live tonight. Make sure you guys show up, 8 Eastern, 7 Central. But there's also some things about moving TJ and Alex Highsmith around. They've talked about that. Alex Highsmith came out and answered the question. They asked him, hey, what about moving you and TJ around? He said, yeah, we got to do that. That's stuff that we're going to do. Teams figured us out last year. So That's the thing. They literally talked about it. Hey, Sophie, come on. Come on. That's enough. That's enough. So it is what it is. Hey, man, here's the thing. My dog is not going to stop barking. If I go out for 5 minutes, will you all stay here? It won't even be 5 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes. If I can get you all to stay here, because she's not going to stop barking until I go out there. So give me 2 minutes and I will be right back, man. Just give me 2 minutes. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Come on. Hurry up. Jeez, we. You're not doing nothing. All that yapping for nothing. Okay. Okay. Let's get back to it, people. I apologize. Whew. All right, man. I apologize. I apologize. Jiminy Christmas. Sophie wearing me out. Wearing me out. So, anyway, I'm back. So, the cake stand, man, that's my wife. I mean, if Felicia, there hasn't been a cake in that thing. I don't even know in how long. I don't know if ever. I don't know if ever. But it is what it is, man. Sophie needs a skate, man. Sophie needs a lot of things. She needs a lot of things. Some better manners is one thing. Stop begging is another thing. But it is what it is, man. I love her. I'm never gonna mistreat her. I'm never gonna let nobody else mistreat her. So it is what it is. So Black and Gold says he thinks Will Howard would have been an undrafted free agent if he stayed at K-State. Took him going to a more talented college team, winning the national championship just to get drafted in the 6th round. I mean, that could be true. So that could very well be true. Sophie owns the podcast. She's got Big B well trained. Yeah. You can say that again. You can say that loud and clear, Brenda. She absolutely does. She absolutely does. Paranormal. What's going on? How you doing? Thanks for showing up. My man S. Palmer. So, do I think that Johnson will carry the load before the season's out? I do. So, well, you're not that late on the TJ situation. So, basically, they're just in the negotiation phase. They've sent him something, a good offer. Apparently, it's a good offer. I mean, but who's to say what's good? I mean, I can't tell TJ Watt what's good to him and what's not. Just like you guys couldn't tell me what's good, if somebody offered me something. So good is a relevant term. But apparently there's an offer out there, and let's call it a substantial offer. and he hasn't signed it yet. So there's work to be done. That's what we'll say. Warren isn't a 3-down back. No, I don't think anybody confuses him with that. So I don't think we're confusing that. But we'll see. Tyler, it's tough to see who's throwing the best right now at OTAs. I suspect we'll find out a little bit more this week. So we'll find out. Please explain why people are criticizing Howard for having talent around him at Ohio State when he could get better talent in our team. How does this diminish what he has done? I don't think anybody is criticizing him for having talent at Ohio State. What they're saying is that when he was at Kansas State, he couldn't put the team on his back and carry them to higher stakes, which to me, I think that's BS because he was the quarterback when they won the Big 12 in 2022, and they beat a team that was in the national championship game to do that. So for the people that think that he can't carry a team, I don't think that they necessarily know what they're talking about. Now you can say, well, he struggled the next year. Well, the team wasn't the same the next year, So I think that's what they're talking about Will Howard and saying that he had a lot of talented players around him. He did at Ohio State. I don't think anybody's even saying he was the best player, but somebody had to stir the ship, and he was that guy. So, yes, that's exactly, Jason. He did. Like I said, he won a Big 12 championship at K-State, which when the quarterback that started the year got hurt, Will Howard elevated what Kansas State was doing and led them to the Big 12 title game. Did they have some talented guys on the team? They did. And were they as talented as Ohio State players? No. So, bro, we already know what Rudolph is bringing. It ain't like he's going to be a whole new quarterback. Okay. So, I don't know what that even means. Will Howard's worst game was against Michigan, but I heard that he may have been concussed. Yeah, he was. But again, in the biggest games this year, the college football playoff, Will Howard was outstanding. He was outstanding, which is what you want. You want guys to elevate their play in the biggest games, which he did that. But hold on, before we go off the deep end about Will Howard, I just want to remind everybody he's still a 6th-round draft pick. I know we don't have a quarterback. I know we haven't had a franchise quarterback. And so Steeler fans, we are just drooling at the mouth for somebody to be that guy. I just want to put the brakes on and just have everybody understand he's still a 6th-round draft pick for a reason. It doesn't mean that he's going to come in and be the greatest thing. And you got to stop with, well, Tom Brady was a 6th-round pick. Yeah. Oh, okay. Who else? Are you going to go to Brock Purdy? Okay. And who else? It's a lot of football players. There's a lot of football players that have been drafted since that time, man. It's just, it doesn't happen very often, if ever. So, that's all. We just have to understand that. We just have to understand that if we're wanting this guy to be the next whatever, but he was still a 6th-round pick. I mean, we could just ask this simple question. Over the last 5 years, how many 6th-round Steeler draft picks have worked out? Like how many? Hell, 10 years, 15, 20. How many of those 6th-round picks? You could go all the way back to AB. And other than that, who else? And I'm sure we can dig in and find a few, but it's few and far between. So, few and far between. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Failed miserably, Big B. Who did? Old Howard is going to give himself a chance, though. He's going to work. I mean, Will Howard's going to give himself a chance. And the Steelers are going to give himself a chance. Again, I'm not saying that it can't work. All I'm saying is Steeler fans are just drooling and foaming at the mouth at this 6th-round draft pick that we think is going to be the next Big Ben. And if he isn't, then people are going, oh, he sucks. He stinks. I'm like, did you think the 6th-round pick was going to be Big Ben? If he turns out to be and surprises us all, great. Great. I just like to temper expectations. So, Art R says, who's your preference for a tight end or wide receiver 2? Man, the wide receiver 2 situation is so crazy. I don't know. There's speculation now. The Steelers they're supposedly going out there. We'll talk about the Jonnu Smith. It seems like the Jonnu Smith thing is dead. He wants to be in Miami. We'll talk about that tonight on the podcast, on the live. So it seems like he's dead. I don't know, man. And I apologize. Y'all know me. I'm usually pretty upbeat, but the Steelers are beating me down, man. They are beating me down with the nonsense. And the one thing is, y'all know me. I love talking football. And there's not a lot of football to talk about right this very second. I love football. I love to break down football. But all this rumor and all this stuff, I'm just like, gee, many Christmas. Oh, by the way, all that yapping. Yeah, I told you that we went outside, nothing. Instantaneous asleep. Unbelievable. Steeler Lee says, I think the fan base is just starving for a franchise QB, and it's hard to look at your rivals who have them. Exactly. That's exactly right. Is that the Steelers, Steeler fan, we just want a QB. So, I mean, here's the thing. Well, Felicia, I get what you're saying, but there's a difference on what happened with Shedeur Sanders. I mean, and I don't think it had anything to do with talent. I'll just put it that way. I don't think it had anything to do with talent. That's my thing with Shedeur. I think it had everything to do with off the field stuff. Now that he created, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it had anything to do with talent. So, Arch Baby Doll, what's going on? What is going on? So, Joseph doesn't think the Steelers are going to win anything as long as Tomlin is at the helm. So, but you've been a Tomlin supporter from the beginning. I mean, it's possible. Look, and I get it gets nauseating to me talking about Mike Tomlin because until he changes his philosophy on how to win football games, that statement is right. You can't win in the NFL 17-14. You're not winning Super Bowls that way. You can win games, you can be relevant, but you're not winning that way. And that's what we are. So, I hate it. I hate what they say. I hate what they do. But I hate the narrative behind it all, but it's true. So, what did Saunders create? He created a persona that he didn't care what other teams, like he didn't go to certain interviews with certain teams because, hey, they're not going to draft me. So why should I go? And while he's a talented guy, he wasn't the most talented football player in this draft, not by a long shot. And whether you think he was the best quarterback or not, sometimes teams just get put off by that type of attitude, And I like Shedeur Sanders. I'm a Shedeur Sanders supporter. I'm fine with him. But I don't get to write checks for people. So it ain't my decisions. And they made a decision. I would hold off on the Patterson being on the team, man. Patterson's not a cancer. So you got to stop that. Everybody loves Cordell Patterson on the football team. So Mm-mm. Do I think it was a bad move? The Steelers didn't draft Sanders. Yeah, I thought they should have. Doesn't mean I'm not happy with who they took, but I thought they should have. They had opportunities, but it is what it is now. So I really, to be honest with you, I don't even care. I literally don't care. Sending hate from Spain. All right. The best case scenario for this team this year. So, I mean, the best case, I mean, if we're being realistic, depending on it's hard because I don't know who the hell the quarterback's going to be, you know? But I would say the best case is probably 11 wins. 11 wins, we get into the playoffs, and we make the game close in the playoffs versus getting our head beaten in. That would be the best case scenario. So, the defense, you're exactly right, Trez Top. The defense should be improved just because the cornerback alone position is better. So the defense should be improved. You're right. You're exactly right. So, but we'll see. Yes, AWOL, Rodgers did go on TV saying that he would play Chicago in a road game. But New Orleans also plays in Chicago, and so does Minnesota. Those are the other two teams that he was reportedly going to. So, the best case scenario is Will Howard turns into Tom Brady. Well, not his first year, because you remember Tom Brady didn't play one snap his first year of football. So, do I want the Steelers to sign Aaron Rodgers? At this point, look, I got a Steelers podcast, I got a Steelers channel. I want the Steelers to do whatever it is, but I won't, duck the question. I think the Steelers are better with Aaron Rodgers than Mason Rudolph. So yes. But at some point, when does he sign? I'm like, I was mad. I was done last week. Why aren't you at OTAs? So, and it doesn't sound like he's coming this week for OTAs. So he doesn't want to show up to OTAs, and people keep saying it doesn't matter. I'm like, why was Cam Hayward there if it didn't matter? Stop it. It does matter. Nobody's saying he needs, he's got to learn. He's got to just get camaraderie with the organization, with his teammates, which is why I think DK Metcalf needs to have his ass at camp tomorrow. He needs to be at OTAs tomorrow. So, until Rodgers signed, I get what you're saying. Rodgers said no, he wasn't going to play there because he was too old to be there. Until he doesn't sign there, I wouldn't believe anything. So, I don't think we're trying to learn anything from Aaron Rodgers in 1 year. I think we're trying to just win 100%. We're just trying to win football games. That's all. I don't think we're trying to learn anything from Aaron Rodgers. We're just trying to win football games. So, whoops. The Bengals stink. Yeah. Their offense sure doesn't, but that defense is terrible. Trade for Cousins. Man, we're going to talk about that tonight. Make sure y'all show up, man. Be there early, 8 Eastern, 7 Central. Make sure y'all show up tonight. We're going to talk about the Cousins. We're going to talk about Kirk Cousins because it's real. It's starting to get real. So, it's starting to get real, which worries me a little bit, but we'll talk about it. Does TJ have a contract yet? Nope. He's been offered a contract, with some substance apparently, but he hasn't signed it. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm sure it's just posturing. I'm sure it's just negotiating. I don't know if Khan is too smart to acquire Cousins or not, man. But we'll talk about it. Mm-mm-mm. And the one thing that people keep talking about, is, the Steelers are desperate. Oh, they might be desperate for this. I'm like, they've been desperate. So anything that they do at this point, how does that change? Like if they traded for Cousins, they signed Rodgers. Like the Steelers have been desperate for a proven starter. That doesn't change now. Like why would that change now? That's crazy talk. Antonio Scott says the Bengals will have a better record than the Steelers. The Bengals defense is about as good as a JV defense. And I think they learned last year you can't just have offense and even make the playoffs. So there's that. Backup QBs, Byron? Doo-doo. So I hope. And here's my thing. I don't want him to trade TJ Watt. I've said it. I don't want him to do it. So I don't want him to trade him. I don't think they should. But I also don't think that they should paint themselves in a corner with a contract that 3 years down the line, you can't get out of it and it's a terrible deal. I don't think they should do that either. That's my point. Is that I love TJ, but I don't want TJ Watt getting no 5-year deal. It's got to make sense. No, the Steelers, I mean, here's the thing. TJ could sign for $70 million. The cap isn't going to be hurt. There's ways to manipulate it. The Steelers got plenty of money. That isn't the problem. So they have plenty of money. Don't think the Steelers need an elite or the Bengals need an elite defense. That's the problem. They don't have a defense that can stop anybody. So they didn't have a defense was so good it couldn't stop anybody to make the playoffs. Couldn't stop anybody. So they stink. What you think we are doing at QB, man? I don't know. I don't know what we're doing. I don't know. I don't know what we're doing. Um, Dwayne K says, I'm fully behind trading TJ. His body type and insistence on being a speed rusher dictates he will be injured often. Last year, he demonstrated he no longer able to play hurt. I mean, that's not true. He played hurt last year. He just didn't play effectively. I mean, he was out there those last 5 games. He was hurt and he was playing, but he just wasn't any good. So, but I think you're right. I mean, I'm not for trading him, but I am for putting him and everybody else in better positions. So that they got to put these guys in better positions to make plays. So, do you think it's really possible that we're getting our franchise QB next year? I don't see why it wouldn't be. Oh, Somebody says, I usually can't stand Steeler fans, and that includes my cousin. Damn. But I genuinely like your chat, bro. Keep doing you, brother. Much love from Northern California. We appreciate that, A. The one thing about me, I tell the truth. You may not agree. That's fine. I'm just always going to tell the truth, whether it's about the Steelers or anybody else. Pros and cons of trading or keeping TJ Watt. That is something that we're going to do tonight. We are going to discuss all of that tonight, my man. But that is a great conversation. What are the pros and what are the cons about trading TJ Watt? Make sure that you guys show up tonight. We'll be in there talking again tonight, 8 Eastern, 7 Central. We'll be live. So, what about George Pickens? He doesn't play for the Steelers anymore. And you know what? I don't agree with that, man of many hats. Like, why does TJ deserve to go to a contender? Like, why does he deserve that? I mean, but what? I mean, he's been a great player for us, so I don't think he deserves to do anything. It is what it is. He's on our team, you know. I don't think he deserves. I mean, what if somebody? I don't know. If the Jaguars wanted to pay him $70 million a year, you think TJ Watt won't take that? Of course he would. So, or the Saints, somebody that's going to be one of the worst teams in football. So I don't think it's a matter of he deserves to go to a contender. I don't think that. It's football, man. So, well, there's some crazy people. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about TJ Watt. I feel like he's doing his thing. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. Like I said, he's negotiating, and I feel like it'll end up getting done. I feel like it'll end up getting done here pretty soon. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm going to head out, man. I got some things I got to do. Make sure, yeah, that's her over there, knocked out. Knocked out. All that yapping she did made me get up from here at the beginning of the show. And now she's turned that into, hey, okay, it's time to sleep. So it is what it is, man. Like I said, I got some stuff I got to do. So I'm going to run. I will holler at you guys tonight. Make sure you show up 8 Eastern, 7 Central, man. We will be here live and ready to get this thing happening, talking about Pittsburgh Steelers. If you haven't subscribed to the channel and you're in here, make sure you do so. If not, I will talk to you guys tonight, man. You guys have a good one.